Have you ever heard of the Saharan Dust? Maybe from menacing articles with scary titles, or maybe on the news. If you live along the Gulf Coast, you've probably heard about it. However, do you know what it is or what it does? Have you ever wondered where it comes from, or most importantly, is it actually deadly? In this video, we are going to answer all of the common questions associated with this weird yet important cloud. The Saharan air layer, or SAO for short, commonly referred to as just Saharan dust, is a large concentration of sand and dust being transported by wind over vast areas. Based off of the name Saharan dust, it is probably pretty obvious that it's dust. However, did you know that each year over 182 million tons of dust are picked up by winds? That is enough to fill up 689,290 semi-trucks. This plume of dust is also very rich in the element phosphorus, which will be important to answer our next question: what does it do? At first glance, the dust doesn't seem to do a whole lot. I mean, if you went outside and poked the dust with a stick, it would just sit there and still be dust, right? However, you may be surprised to know that this plume of dust is an important part to Earth's biology. Remember earlier how I said it contained a large amount of phosphorus? Well, this particular element is essential for plant proteins and growth, which is especially important in places like the Amazon rainforest, where a lot of the phosphorus is washed away from rainfall into rivers and streams. However, since the Saharan dust contains so much phosphorus, it is able to replace the required amount for the forest to continue to thrive. In fact, the Saharan air layer brings about 22,000 tons worth of phosphorus to the Amazonian soil each year alone. Also, since the dust commonly travels over the main development region, or typical breeding grounds for hurricanes, it often creates unfavorable conditions for organizing tropical cyclones. So, during large Saharan dust outbreaks, hurricane activity is normally low, although it is important to remember that hurricanes can still form in other, less dusty areas. Other than just helping grow entire rainforests and stopping massive storms that flood entire cities, the dust also helps photographers like me. Dust and water particles are responsible for scattering sunlight, making the colors you see in sunset and sunrise. With the added dust in the atmosphere, more particles can refract the sunlight, resulting in some of the most chaotic and vibrant sunsets with a breathtaking orange desert glow commonly taking the stage. Now that you know a little more about what the dust does, you may be wondering, where does this rainforest growing hurricane killer originate? To put it simply, it comes from Africa. Now you may be asking yourself, do you mean Africa the continent, or Africa, Indiana? Yes, I mean the continent. More specifically, as the name suggests, from the Sahara Desert in northern Africa. This massive swirling cloud of dust travels an astounding 7,000 or more miles across the Atlantic Ocean. As complexes of thunderstorms move off the west coast of Africa, they kick up the dust and carry it over the water. From there, it gets picked up by the trade winds, the same belt of winds that hurricanes hitch a ride on that transports them west towards the United States. However, that is a video topic for another time. Which brings us to our last and perhaps most important question. Is it actually deadly? The dust by itself is not deadly. For a healthy adult, it's just like any other airborne contaminant, such as smoke, pollution, and everyone's favorite, pollen. You won't even notice it's there, besides perhaps a scratchy throat or shortness of breath. However, according to Dr. Meredith McCormick, an associate professor of medicine at Johns Hopkins University, people with underlying lung conditions such as asthma should be aware of an increased risk of complications if exposed. Also, there is some ongoing research that suggests the dust may possibly be more harmful than originally thought, but at this time, it's inconclusive. And there you have it. 4 of the most commonly asked questions about the Saharan dust. So next time you have an awkward "how about this weather" conversation with a stranger on the street, you will have something to talk about. Or enough to ramble and guarantee a quick end to the conversation.